here. I think the game will never, forgive us if we start commenting on referees, what the referee's decision will be before the game.
The president, as usual, is a major force. I don't know if he's fashionably late or not, but we did have the players waiting out there for a little while, and there he is, Hosni Mubarak, who's I think 5 terms already in charge of the Egyptian nation, and well, security is always very, very tight when he is around. He was there at the opening game, and on that day the Egyptians were far too strong for the Libyans, beating them by 3-0. It's not something the Ivory Coast want to see happen today, and well, we're waiting to see if Emmanuel Aboe will play for the Ivory Coast. He was carrying a knock in training during the week, and Jean-Jacques Tizi, their goalkeeper, did not take goal kicks for the last couple of games. Will he be able to play in today's game? Let's listen to the anthems.
So after 3 weeks of intense competition, it boils down to this: the African Nations Cup final here in Cairo, Egypt, to decide the top team on the continent. Hosts Egypt up against the World Cup finalists Ivory Coast. 80,000 people crammed into the Cairo International Stadium. We are on for 90 minutes of spectacular football in the 25th Nations Cup final. Masses crowds have been assembling throughout the day. There's the Egyptian president, Hosni Mubarak, and the stadium literally full 5 hours before kickoff in anticipation. Not a ticket to be had. Massive crowds outside hoping to get a chance to get in, but full to the rafters. The official capacity here is 78,400. I'm sure there's a lot more than that. Egypt with just the one change, Mido out of course, suspended by his country. There were a lot of rumours about the possibility he might yet appear, but he's not even on the reserve bench today. His place taken by Amr Zaki, the player who came on after that clash with his coach and scored the goal that took Egypt into the final. Amr Zaki then, along with Motaeb in attack. Abu Trika is the key man in the midfield, along with the captain Ahmed Hassan, who's the only surviving member here in this side, besides number 5, Abdel Zahar El Saka, who appeared in the 1998 Nations Cup winning side for the Egyptians against Bafana Bafana in Ouagadougou. So a big night for Egyptian football, seeking to break the record and become the first team to win the Nations Cup on 5 separate occasions. The referee is from Tunisia, Murad Dami. The second time he's handled a Nations Cup final. He was in charge of the 2000 decider between Cameroon and Nigeria, a very controversial affair that ended in a penalty shootout where the referee got 1 or 2 decisions wrong. He takes charge again here today. He has an Algerian linesman and one from Rwanda, and the fourth official, Eddie Mallier from Seychelles. The Ivorians have 4 changes from the side that beat Nigeria in the semi-finals. They've gone back to the lineup which saw them through the quarters against Cameroon. Akale is back, so is Emes Faye in the midfield. That means a lot more of an attacking lineup from the Ivorians. Aruna Kone returns in attack. He'll partner Didier Drogba. They played with just Drogba up front in the last game, and in defence Blaise Kosi Kouassi comes in place of the Marseille defender Abdoulaye Meti. There is the Ivorian side. Didier Drogba, the central point. He's the captain as well, and with 3 key goals in this tournament, they'll be looking to him to provide the magic today. The Egyptians, mostly a home-based side. Hassan Shehata under immense pressure over the last couple of days with the whole Mido affair, but he's stuck to his guns. There was talk of some public reconciliation, some government interference as well, trying to get Mido back into the team, but no place on the bench for Mido at all in today's game, and he will certainly not be allowed to come on and play. According to the team sheet, that is. You never know here at the Nations Cup. Henri Michel into the Nations Cup final for the first time in his 4th tournament here. He's had fairly poor results up to now, with Tunisia in 92 and Morocco in 98 and 2000. South Africa beat them in the quarterfinals in Burkina Faso. So, all ready to go. Magnificent venue, packed to the rafters, and a real nervous edge, I fancy, for the Egyptians as they seek to win this title in front of their home crowd. The Ivorian side beat them twice, both home and away in World Cup qualifiers, but Egypt did play against the Ivorians in the group game, which ended in a 3-1 victory for Egypt, albeit against an Ivorian side who gave key players the day off and put the reserves on in their place. Muradami stands by to get matters underway here. The 25th Nations Cup final is underway. Egypt in the red, knock it forward in search up front of Mutaib and Zaki. The Ivorians are defending the goal to the right-hand side there in the all-orange kit. There was a Egyptian protest. They were asked to wear white for today's game, and they've obviously won that particular protest and are playing in their traditional colours and the colours that they've worn with good luck throughout this tournament so far. Drogba with the first little effort out wide. It's neatly marshalled there by Ibrahim's side. What a turnabout this tournament has been for Ibrahim's side, who was sent home for disciplinary reasons from the Nations Cup in Mali in 2002. Hasn't played for the national team since, until December, when he was a surprise call-up. But in that defensive role has proven certainly a vital cog for the Egyptians at this particular tournament, and played in all 5 of the matches leading up to the appearance of the final. Number 4, Ibrahim's side. Captain Ahmed Hassan, and now Mohamed Barakat, who during the tournament picked up an award from the BBC as their best African footballer of the year. It was an internet poll, a lot of Egyptian votes I fancy there, but Barakat certainly the outstanding player at last year's Champions League and scored in the final in November. Barakat goes down there under an alleged push, and the referee quick to go and try and sort out the matters. Didier Drogba, while Goma in there is a testy character at the best of times, number 20 for Egypt. Barakat giving a sense that there's certainly going to be a game full of tension. So much at stake, of course. The continental title, the Ivorians have won it once before, the Egyptians 4 times. And there's Barakat, and also involved in there Emes Faye. And Barakat with perhaps a reaction that was a little over the top. They're showing it on the big screen here, which is surprising too, so the reaction from the crowd. Card for Kanga Akale. Boca, defender from Strasbourg. Now this is Emes Faye, the player from Nantes in France, former French junior international. Decision against him and in favour of the Egyptians. The Ivorians will certainly feel themselves up against it here. They're Handball there by Faiz, the decision from the referee. They're up against this huge crowd, and of course not too happy about having a North African referee in charge, although there must be said there's not much love lost between the Tunisians and the Egyptians. Barakat. Back from Hassan. This is El Saka. His 101st international appearance today. Broke that milestone in the semi-finals. Ahmad Motaib from Al Ahly. 6 goals in the Champions League. He's been in fine scoring form here as well, with 3 in this competition. Now Drogba looking for the ball. That's Kolo Touri's brother, of course, Neri Touri. And here in front of us, in the commentary area, comes Mido in a tracksuit, and he's going to go and sit with the Egyptian television. Boca to clear. Must tell you, there's a huge commotion in front of us, because Mido has come into the press area, and they've actually not put him next to the television of Egypt, but actually in a free seat amongst the journalists. So it's going to be a bit of a free-for-all in a few minutes' time, as everybody tries to get a quote or two, reaction from Mido, and how he's seen the action so far, and what his story is at not being allowed to play after alleged reconciliation. Shots from Kanga Akale is an early test for Al Hadri, a test more of the feel of the ball than anything else. Barakat now. Abu Trika. Cut out by Boca. This is forward from Hassan. It's a lovely ball. The flag stays down, and Amr Zaki's first effort is wide of goal. There was always going to be a little concern about the pace of the Ivorian side. They're big and strong and very physical, but perhaps not as mobile as the Egyptians. It's a fine ball over the top for Amr Zaki. In the side today in place of Mido, and well wide of goal with that effort. Little flick on from Drogba, looking for Kone. This is cleared up by Barakat. Hassan. And now up to Abu Trika, who's certainly been one of the outstanding performers at this tournament. Must be on his way to a European club pretty soon. I'm sure he will have impressed many scouts with his acumen and his touch. Aruna Kone too, also one of the revelations, but well established in Holland already with PSV Eindhoven. Crowd perhaps not as noisy as they were for the quarter and semi-finals. Much more tension here in Egypt. It's fairly unheard of for tickets to be trading at high prices on the black market. That's what's happened here over the last 24 hours or so. They were all sold out by Wednesday, just a couple of hours after Egypt had made it through to the final. Now Akale again, the player from Auxerre in France, and there's Fire with a nice little turn, while Goma stood his ground well. Interception from Zokoro. Referee will allow play to continue there. Zokoro stays down, and Akale trying to go to the byline. No push by Goma, and so Egypt have possession. Zokoro, by the way, is back up and able to continue. Hassan. intercepted by Akale, and now Aruna Kone. Akale again against Nigeria in the semi-final in Alexandria on Tuesday. The Ivorian sort there is Mido, by the way. We're not terribly far away from him. Stuck amongst all the men with the computers and the tape recorders, so he'll have a busy half-time, I reckon. But the Ivorians against the Nigerians in the semi-final had a fairly solid side that they sought to perhaps nullify the pace and the energy of the young Nigerian side with the physical presence. It's the changes that Henri Michel have made here allow for a bit more mobility against an Egyptian side who are perhaps faster around the park as well. There's Fire again. Hadn't started a game in the Ivorian shirt before this tournament. He played as a substitute on a couple of occasions. That's Fire just in his early 20s. Henri Michel has won one African title in his time as coach of Raja Casablanca. They were winners of the Confederation of African Football CAF Cup in 2002. Hassan now, little chip over the top. Nice bit of skill, early stages of course here of the Nations Cup final. Coming up for 10 minutes in Cairo. A lot of South Africans, by the way, in the crowd tonight, guests of the sponsors MTN and others who've come along to watch this particular encounter. How sure they would have wished that Bafana would have been here in the final. Certainly have been an intimidating atmosphere, as the Ivorians have found out. Abutrika, lovely pass again, what a fine player. Now looking for Zaki, a little touchback there by Motaib. Abutrika's passing in this tournament has been absolutely delightful to watch, and you'll remember that pinpoint cross in the semi-finals on Tuesday night against Senegal, which provided the winner. Good skill from Hassan as well. Despite his tiny frame, he certainly gets around, and he's got the free kick too. Ran straight into Kouassi. So Jean-Jacques Tizi, goalkeeper, who has certainly enhanced his reputation from Esperance in Tunisia, the only African-based player in the Ivorian squad. Never mind starting lineup here today. Come back from injury to take his place in this team over the last couple of months. A bit of a conference there with Hassan, Mohamed Abdel Waheb, who has a fearsome strike from long range. El Sakr, the defender there too, number 5. And Abutrika, who's also a consummate artist at set pieces. So another early test for Jean-Jacques Tizi. Let's see what Egypt can make of this free kick. El Sakr, not far away. They want the corner, but linesman says goal kick. Little touch there, and El Sakr, who looked to bend it, Tizi had it fairly well covered. He knows it's going wide and makes the appeal for the corner. Hassan Shahata, a former player, of course, in the Egyptian national team, played in 3 different Nations Cup tournaments, including when Egypt were the host in 1974, but failed to make it to the final. So, an opportunity for a little redemption for him here at this particular game. first free kick. That will go the Ivorians' way, up against Wild Guma. He'll take no prisoners tonight, as that hairstyle suggests. El Saka and Guma, between them, will have been working over the last day or two on how to counter the danger posed by Didier Drogba. The Ivorians moving the big men in there. Yaya Toure's in as well, little flick on header. And the effort over the top of Al Hadri's goal. This goalkeeper's made a few errors in this tournament. Here's El Saka's free kick again, which was well wide. Moment of tension there from the coach. Unlike the third place playoff match yesterday, there will be extra time if this game is not resolved in the first 90 minutes, and of course penalties will decide the winner here tonight, as has been the tradition in Africa for decades now. First penalty shootout in a Nations Cup final was way back in 1982 when Ghana won against Libya. There have been a couple since, including the Ivorians beating Ghana in 1992. Cameroon won, of course, in 2000 and 2002 on penalties in both finals. First Nigeria and then Senegal were the losing teams. So the trend has certainly been towards a very tight final and a trophy decided in the lottery of the spot kicks. And I hope for African football's sake that we get a result inside 90 minutes here with some good football and keep the cynicism of the game to a low level. Here comes Guma. Little touch on there from Abu Trika. Another fine one. Finds Motaeb. Combination with Zaki was supposed to be one of the strong points of Egypt's side before this tournament, but they've never really had a chance to play together, with Mido coming back into the squad. And of course Hossam Hassan, the 39-year-old, lurking around the fringes. Egypt, by the way, sent out a couple of substitutes already for early warm-up. It's Wael Goma who's injured, so the medical staff there at the bottom want to get on, and the coach has said to the captain, knock it out. Be a problem for Egypt if he's out, because this man has been a tower at the back as well. Knock on the ankle, and maybe saw his opponent stand on his toes as well. Those who can lip read French, I'm sure, will understand what Henri Michel had to say. Best not published nor repeated. While Goma will limp off. Another one of the Al Ahly players who won the Champions League title. There's Zokora, defensive midfielder from Saint-Etienne, who's certainly on his way to a club in Italy or England at the end of the season in France. Also played in Belgium. Guma's actually getting treatment in the small of his back, which would suggest that maybe there was a problem coming into this game. Free kick will be taken by Boka. The Ivorians at the back post, perhaps looking to get it back in. Yaya Toure. Drogba comes back onside, as does Kone, but Toure not that convinced. That's why he delayed the potential of knocking it over. Arthur Bocker is a former French Cup winner with Strasbourg. Now Toure, Drogba, and the clearance, fairly convincing one out wide from Barakat. Now Akale up against Barakat again, and Ahmed Hassan joining in. Well, Guma looks to be in a lot of trouble there. You can see at the bottom of your picture. He wants to come back on again, but the Egyptians might have to consider whether they need to bring on an early sub. Yeah, here's a chance. Nice interception from Ibrahim Said. Ivorians just pinning the Egyptians back now. Fai, little flick on there, and Cornet running onto it. Some brave goalkeeping from Al-Hadri, while Goma's teammates preferring sympathy for him, which would suggest that his Nations Cup is over. He's got to sit on the bench. Substitute about to come on in the meantime. No free kick. Dramatic tumble there from Abu Trika. So Egypt still down to 10 men. The substitution taking a while to get going. Ivorians not seeking to use the advantage at this stage. Now Motaib, Abdul Wahab, still a young player at 22, 12th cap today. They with the throw in as well. Cross into the middle, now the test for Tizi. And Motaib not finding the height he was looking for. Ahmed Fati is the defender standing by to come on in place of Wael Goma. Fati was a regular for the Egyptians for pretty much the last year and a half, playing out wide in a fullback position, but his performance against South Africa in that final warm-up game before the tournament started was on January the 14th was so dire that he was dropped, and has played in just one game at this tournament so far. He'll come on for Guma. Challenge on Ahmed Hassan, and Yaya Toure quick to go and prefer his apologies. He's obviously aware of potential here for a flurry of cards and strict actions from the referee. So now the change. Pointing out to the referee that Ahmed Fati has gone off, but he wants to see the board up first before he makes the change. So now on comes the youngster from Ismailia, former Champions League finalist with his club against Enyimba of Nigeria a couple of years ago. This will be his 29th cap at the age of 21, which is a fantastic achievement. He was a big star at the Under-20 World Championships for Egypt in the United Arab Emirates a couple of years ago. That will certainly disrupt the coach's plans when you might have some of your possible substitutions worked out in your head later on for tactical and fitness reasons, and injury enforces a change. And while Goma bitterly disappointed, of course, that he can't continue. Ahmed Shawki, who it is said will be on the move at the end of this tournament as well. The deal has been done with the club in England by all accounts. We'll see whether that comes to fruition. They can't move him now, of course, because the transfer window is closed. He has the Ivorians, and the header away from Amr Zaki, helping out in defence. Cross in again. Al-Saka. So far, Didier Drogba has seen very little of the ball. We're in the midway point of the first half. First touch for Fati. Barakat goes down to Shawki now. Bit of space out wide on the left-hand side. Abdul Wahab onto the edge of the area. being neatly policed there by the Arsenal defender Eboué, who certainly made a name for himself here at this particular tournament. He'll go back to England with a much stronger claim for a more regular starting berth. Back from Schalke to Ibrahim Said, Zamalek player Ibrahim Said, semi-finalist in the Champions League, former Al Ahly man. Not often that a player makes a move from the one big Cairo club to the other. It's almost unheard of here in Egypt. Abu well wide. Coach likes it though. Amr Zaki and Abu Trika there. Abu Trika replica shirts have been the most popular, more popular than Mido in the sales over the last couple of days, according to the shops that we've visited here. Hassan once more. Another fine pass from Abu Trika out wide to Abdel Wahab, offside though. Abdel Wahab injured for most of last year, missed Al Ahly's successful Champions League campaign, save for the final where he came on as a substitute. So a few chances in this game so far, understandably, with so much at stake. The Ivorians looking to impose themselves. Ball from Akale, intended for Drogba. Now Yaya Toure, intercepted by Barakat. The two strikers, Drogba and Kone, getting a little frustrated with a lack of possession. Zokoro has the decision go against him. Yaya Toure again in the heart of that midfield with that big frame, bigger than Drogba. Player from Olympiakos in Greece. Boca. Just going to try and go to the byline. He'll find Barakat, difficult man to get past. That's good defensive work from Barakat, whose acumen going forward is perhaps his strong point, but in defence no slouch either. Another strong challenge. Motaeb going down, the Ivorians protesting that he went for the ball. Emmanuel Eboué. Did get the touch of the wall. Motaeb might have hurt his wrist in the fall. No card preferred there. The way Motaeb fell, perhaps suggesting that he hurt his wrist. One of the bad boys of Egyptian football, been suspended in the past for criticism of coaches and fellow players and running into trouble with referees. Cross into the middle again, neatly cleared. Now Drogba, a red touch for him. Look how far back he has to come to try and get a sniff of the ball here. Abdel Wahab gets the cross in. It's not enough pace really for the potential of a chance for the strikers. Another decision Egypt's way. Crowd now trying to get behind their side. Abu Trika. El Saka. Chases on here for Barakat. So Boca certainly sorted him out. Ahmed Hassan runs into traffic into Didio Zakora, who will be key for the Ivorians in the midfield as well, more on the defensive side. Hassan again, he's always looking for the ball. Zaki, Zakora and Boca rather, the challenge came from the Strasbourg man. Here's Barakat. Drogba. Nice ball inside to Akale. Now, he's got some lovely skills there. In the end, just perhaps one touch too many. And Barakat again with a finely timed defensive challenge. Away from Kolo Toure. Bit of space here for Boca. Really is an evenly matched contest up to now. Yaya Toure. Nice ball forward again, looking for Akale. Cleared by Ibrahim Said. They're making a bit more progress, are the Ivorians. It's here come Egypt. Didier Drogba back to help out in defence. Did enough there to put Hassan off it. Great skill here from Kanga Kale, but Barakat just sticking that leg out and making a really vital challenge on the edge of the area. Those can be so dangerous, of course, if you get the timing wrong, then you present your opponent with a wonderful chance from a fine position just on the edge of the penalty area for a free kick. It's Kawasi who knocked that ball forward. Kone is going to battle to keep this in play. Michel, who gave a press conference yesterday, looked fairly calm and collected ahead of the final. Was very friendly with the members of the media and didn't say anything controversial nor anything demonstrative ahead of the final. Drogba was there too, and very measured in their words and their analysis of how this game would pan out. Schalke. Timely interception from Boca. It's well brought down there by Amr Zaki. He's got support behind him from Barakat. It's running into a crowd of orange there, and Drogba will come away for it. Up against El Saka, over the top here for Kone. Now the battle with pace. Kone is all on his own. Battling there with Ahmed Fati. Well, you would think the initial challenge from Fati was leading with the arm, but you can see Kone's already been in the wars from the torn jersey that he's wearing. Abu Trika. Kolo Toure, the defender. It's a final which really should offer a few more chances as the game progresses. These teams will understandably be very tired. This is the 6th competitive match for them since this tournament started. Given that program inside the space of 3 weeks, one would expect as the game comes to an end, so there might be tired bodies out there and mistakes being made, perhaps concentration lost. Chance here! Hassan just doesn't have the height. Still in play with Barakat. Gets the cross in, Tizi comes out, doesn't hold it. Cleared by Kolo Toure. Still onside, Amarzaki, he's gone wide. Nice shot on the turn. Now Tizi complaining to the referee that perhaps he was impeded as he went to collect, but I would suggest it was his own man. This is a fine turn from Amarzaki, and he wasn't far away. Mido looks on without much emotion on his face. I'm sure he's dying to participate. That's his own folly really from the semi-final. And his objection had been taken off by the coach, and his use of foul language, including calling the coach a donkey, which apparently here in Egypt is not the done thing, as Mido has subsequently found out. Suspended for 6 months by the Egyptian Federation, although one must say that's a rather hollow suspension because there's no competitive football for the next 6 months. The qualifiers for the 2008 Nations Cup finals in Ghana don't start until September, and by that time Mido will be available again for Egypt. Abu Trika finds Ahmed Hassan. Sokoro, Abu Trika again. 10 minutes remaining here in the first half in Cairo. Nice turn. Amarzaki looking to shape up and shoot. Hassan again. This is Barakat. Great running from the captain, good touch on the ball too. So Boka will come away with it. Referee allows play to continue. Yaya Toure up to Drogba. Kone now, can he get Drogba away? It's 2-on-1, he's onside too. Well, the touch from Didier Drogba, he stood on the ball there really, and he wasn't looking to go wide to the left-hand side where Kanga Kale was in space, which was perhaps the first error, and then the second, of course, the footwork. Amarzaki can't get past Fai. Yaya Toure again. Aruna Kone, whose parents are originally from Mali, could have played for them as well, but Ivorian born. Abu Trika. Get the ball back. Now Motaib trying to find Abu Trika once more, forward from Boka. Drogba, good turn. Cut out there by Mohamed Shauki. Ahmed Hassan onto the edge of the area, trying to lay it back. Another good interception from Kolo Toure. Anticipation so strong. Disappointment there for the captain, whose passion certainly is in this game. He's lifted the Nations Cup trophy before. 1998, scored against South Africa in that game in Ouagadougou. The other player who got a goal that day was a young emerging striker by the name of Tariq Mustafa, who disappeared off the scene really in subsequent years. Corner now to the byline. The Ivorians have a corner. Little burst of pace there. Jogba's still fretting a little bit, I think, about that earlier opportunity. Good challenge in there to deny him. Toure brothers from the Ivory Coast trying to match the achievement of a pair of brothers in 1974. Chance! Kolo Toure at the back post. This is perhaps the weakness of the Egyptian side. It looked a little vulnerable from set pieces in defence. Drogba's presence in there creating a little bit of a nuisance, and that's a lot closer than it looked initially from Kolo Toure. Wonderful opportunity, he knows it too. Says to himself, well, how did I miss that? We are not going to get too many good chances in this game, and opportunities like that should not be missed. Fati now. Substitute in the 22nd minute for Wael Guma. Zokora. Hassan. Again Abu Trika, nice turn here. Zaki gets the cross in. Tizi flapping at it. Cleared away by Kolo Toure. Shauki unable to control. Egypt in these last 5 minutes of the first half looking for something. Crowd fairly quiet. Hassan. Now Abdel Wahab again, and Jean-Jacques Tizi makes a much more convincing catch on that occasion, accompanied by a broad smile too. Sportingly knocks it into touch and will allow Amr Zaki a chance to get some treatment. This was the cross, the initial one from Zaki, and then he went into the penalty area waiting for the return. Here he comes at the back and got blocked by the defender Kouassi there. That man has aged in the last couple of days, that's for sure. Hassan Shahata. Temperatures dropping a little bit here in Cairo. It's a fairly average day. The cold wind of last night and the sandstorm on Wednesday, which almost covered the city, made visibility almost zero, has dissipated, and it will get a little chillier as the night lengthens, but for the moment out there, perfect conditions really for these footballers. Zokora's header finds corner. Now Fai. Been a little cautious in coming up down the flanks so far in this game, the Ivorians. Zokora. Akale. This is Boka. Good challenge again. The tackling from the midfield is tracking back Barakat, and on that occasion Ahmed Hassan has been outstanding so far in this game from the Egyptians. There's going to be another yellow card here. This is Kouassi, who goes into trouble, or gets into trouble rather. Second caution of the game, both of them for the Ivorians. Akale after just 3 minutes, and Kouassi joins him just before the half-time break. Tracking back there on Motaev, there can be no doubt about the cynical nature of that challenge from French-based defender. Barakat. Gets the cross into Zaki. Kolo Toure predictably manages to get ahead to it. Drogba beaten in the air there by Ibrahim Said. Now the Egyptians again. Ahmed Hassan just trying to find something in there. It's Kolo Toure certainly amongst the best defenders at this particular tournament. He's got a busy year coming up, of course. Champions League with Arsenal. Much of that action live on Supersport in the coming weeks. Premier League. And then the World Cup. The Ivorians have a very tough group for the Dutch, Argentinians and Serbians. Drogba headed that away. Now, shot from Hassan, wide of goal. Fourth official will let us know momentarily how much stoppage time we will have added on. 2 minutes.
2 minutes additional time added for the first half. 2 minutes de temps additionnel pour la première mi-temps.
Corner. Egypt very quick to get men back behind the ball. Akale now. Shapes to shoot, then gets the shot in. It was a good effort too. This goalkeeper has been hard to beat throughout the tournament. Some spectacular saves. Notably, must be said, in the first half of the group game between these two teams. It eventually ended 3-1 to Egypt, but the scoreline perhaps flattered them against the Ivorian reserves, who in the first half of that match really kept Al Hadri on his toes with some accurate shooting, which the goalkeeper dealt with very comfortably and in exemplary fashion. Gentleman in the hat there amongst the dignitaries is the president of the AU, former president of Mali, Mr. Alpha Kone. Boca. Fai on the edge of the area. Kanga Kale trying to engineer something for himself there. The decision goes against him. So the half-time whistle imminent now. And there's perhaps you would have thought not too many chances here in the first 45 minutes of this game. Muradami will check his watch, and Essam Al Hadri will bring the first half to a close. So there it is from the referee. First 45 minutes without any goals in this contest so far, and a tight contest it has been indeed. Egypt with perhaps 1 or 2 half chances. There's been an opportunity for Koner, and maybe Drogba would have done better with another option in his rare effort up front. But the Ivorians and the Egyptians with much to do as everybody goes off for a half-time cup of tea. We'll leave you with Egypt 0, Ivory Coast 0.
Welcome back. What a final. It's tense. Both the countries don't want to make a mistake. Let's hear from the experts here in the studio very, very quickly. Neil, your overall assessment, you picked Egypt to win it. You still feel they're on course for that?
Yeah, why not? They've attacked on the flanks. They've gotten behind the Ivorians a couple of times. Maybe with a little bit more clinical cross on the head of one of their forwards, it could have been a goal or two.
And Abedi, you felt that tactics would be an important thing in this match. As Henri Michel come out and set out his stall how you expected it to be?
Yeah, for now I'm seeing that the Ivorians are playing compact. They come back, all their two strikers always make sure that the ball is in front of them, and they're slowing down the game. So they've got an objective. I think they want to go to extra time or penalty kicks.
Right, there you have it. And finally, Mark Fish, your assessment on both sides in the first half?
Obviously there wasn't much goal mouth action, but it's always going to happen in the final. Teams always want to suss each other out, and because of the nature, you don't want to lose the final. You want to win the trophy. So it's it was a bit slow going. I don't think I think the Egyptian goalkeeper made one save, and that was probably the only save that was on target. So only shot that was on target. It was tentative, but that's what the final. At the end of the day is. It's only another 45 minutes, maybe extra time, but let's hope it's 45 minutes we get a winner before the end.
It's tense. It's time for a break. After that, we'll bring you the better moments from the 2006 MTN African Cup of Nations final.